Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Books and Banter Podcast. My name is Marcia Spence, and I'm your host, and I'm the director of Marcia M Publishing House. I'm here with Donald Campbell, the author of My Path of Life, and it's a story about his life that begins in Jamaica and really takes him all over the world. What I say about this man is only the sky is the limit, and maybe that's not the limit either. Hi, Donald.
Hi, Marcia. Oh, what a build-up that was.
How are you? How are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. How are you?
Good. I'm really good. I'm good, and I'm giving thanks, and I'm excited about what 2024 is going to bring. Yeah, so
Absolutely, absolutely.
it's good to catch up with you again. So, firstly, let's get a bit of background about you because I mentioned the sky's the limit. That was a little hint there, because I can see the paintings and photographs behind you of aircraft. So, can you just tell us what's the relationship with aircraft for you?
Well, my book is about my life from a journey of when I was born up until 18. But once I got to 18, I joined the military, in my case, the Royal Air Force. And 36 years later,
Yeah, wow.
yeah,
Wow.
so my journey was very much to do with those aircraft that you can see behind there, fast jets, and working on fast jets and helicopters as
Mm,
an aircraft engineer. It was
fantastic.
absolutely fabulous because as a young lad, it was my dream to travel and
Okay.
meet people. And
Mm.
being in the Air Force gave me the opportunity much, much more than I ever envisaged. So it was a fantastic life.
Oh, wonderful. So where have you been in the world? Where in the world have you been, Donald?
Well, apart from all the UK countries, as in
Mm-hmm.
Scotland, Wales, and my first journey as an 18-year-old was in Northern Ireland.
Okay.
As, as a youngster, for the first posting, as they call it, in the RAF, that
Mm-hmm.
was quite an awakening, shall we say, because I
Mm.
went in the middle of civil unrest, as they call
Okay.
it, and
All right.
I didn't know it existed until we
Mm.
got there. Anyway, it was quite an experience spending my first year there, because the Irish sees black people as similar life sort of
Yeah.
experiences to them. So
Kindred people are, isn't it? Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that was there wasn't a problem for me.
Mm.
But the experience itself was very much something that wakes you up as a young man or young
Okay.
woman to say
Mm.
you're now in the big wide world and defending Queen and country. During that time, I was actually fortunate to visit Madagascar for two
Okay.
months. Yeah, and
Mm.
that was absolutely fantastic because it took me
Wonderful.
back. It took me right back to my country, Jamaica, because
Mm.
Madagascar is very tropical and it was all
Okay.
the things, the fruits and
Beautiful.
the sunshine on the beaches and everything was just fantastic. And 2 months is that within a year of being in the RAF was
Oh, that sounds
it was
sounds epic.
fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And
and
you
there were many,
mentioned, okay, carry on.
many other countries that I've been to in terms of
Mm,
um, Germany, Norway, Denmark,
yes.
Belize, USA, um,
Mm,
Cyprus, the Falklands, and the roughly smooth, as in 4 months in the Falklands and
hmm.
seven weeks in Las Vegas. I mean,
Okay.
it's the way life goes. The roughly smooth.
What were you doing in Las Vegas?
So, being that I work with fast jets, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
I was mostly on squadrons.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of aircraft, fighter jets or bombers or strikers,
Yes.
whichever way you looked at it. And we had various sort of roles. So we
Mm-hmm.
would go to different parts of the world to train. And Las Vegas is one of the places that we did go to do various training. So I was very fortunate to be there for 7 weeks,
Okay.
just off the strip. I mean, what's not to like?
Well, Donald, I won't ask you anymore because, as they say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, doesn't it?
Thank you.
So, okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Now, you mentioned Jamaica, and actually, we can't miss that you must be Jamaican because of that flag that's right there by your
Oh,
side. So tell me about, the place of your birth and when you were born and what your early life was like in Jamaica.
yes, I was born in St. Thomas, Jamaica, a place called Maley, which is like, really very rural, but it
Mm-hmm.
was just fantastic, very adventurous. I said that I used to live amongst nature, mixing with
Mm,
nature,
beautiful.
The experience of growing up until I was 13 was wonderful
Mm,
because it was adventurous. You get up in the morning and you hear the birds singing. As a matter of fact, you're woken by cockerels at 4 or 5 o'clock, whether you like it or not.
yeah.
And then the sun would shine invariably, and then life would begin, and it was just fantastic. And going to school, again, just like any other young person, it was just great. And my journey in school was very varied,
Yeah.
from the early years to the years before I left. But the
Mm,
life itself in general was just very, very exciting. But I didn't know how exciting and adventurous it was until
until you left.
I left.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I hear. So from reading your book, Donald, I recognize that you're one of the children that, one of the people that some of us call barrel children. You were one of those children that your parents came to settle in the UK and you had to stay in Jamaica for a period of time. Can you just tell us a bit more about that?
Yes. My daddy left me when I was 4. My mother left me when I said me, us, there were 5
Yeah,
of us,
okay.
when I was 7, and I didn't see them again until I was 13. So that's
Wow.
quite a
What's that,
gap
5 years?
for mother, and but longer even for daddy because I
Yeah,
was 4. Yeah. So in that time, they would send stuff back for us, invariably in a barrel, you
yeah.
know, which was the goodies. And for me, I was very much a mommy's. I wouldn't say mommy. I always craved after my mother. We had a
Yes.
real bond with my mother. So when she left, it was daily. When am I
Mm.
going to see my mother again? Therefore,
Oh.
when they sent things for us, it was just fantastic.
Mm.
And
So what
and they
what type what type of things did they send? What was in the barrel?
So in the barrel, you get a variety of things such as clothing,
Mm.
from shirts to trousers to shoes and that
Mm-hmm.
sort of thing, but also toys.
Right.
And one of the toys, I mean, you see, when you are in Jamaica back in them days,
Mm-hmm.
anything from England was
Yeah,
supposed to be, because it's mother country,
that's right. The
you know,
best.
yeah. And then we talk about schooling. I think I knew more about UK,
Mm.
England, more than I knew about Jamaica in terms of
Wow.
what they taught me in school.
History.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Mm.
drawing the map of England and all that sort of thing, probably before I could
Mm.
draw the map of Jamaica.
So, Donald, are you saying that, in your childhood era and in the colony or in the Jamaican colony, it was that England, UK, in England was
Mm.
glorified because was glorified and it was like you had to learn how to be English or British. And so the education system ensured that you, like you said, you could draw the map and that you knew about, I suppose, the empire that you were under. Yeah, was it like that? Was it very much enforced that
Yes,
you?
it's whether you knew about the empire or not, the whole system was British. So
Okay.
your learning was British. The books and the
We're
emphasis
British.
was, yeah. And if you took an exam, it was marked in Cambridge.
Okay. Yeah.
The fact that you would come across to Britain and they say, you have to retake the exam or whatever, it just didn't make sense because of, your certificates and all of that sort of thing was sort of marked by Cambridge. But the whole learning thing, the emphasis was definitely on mother country Britain. Therefore, you saw mother country Britain as a glorified street paved with gold, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Wow.
So you had that sort of image in your mind that you're going to join mommy and daddy in the mother country.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like I said before, the things that came from England because of, that glorification.
Yes.
It was like worth more than anywhere else.
Yeah.
And especially marbles. Oh,
wow.
Oh my God, these are English marbles.
Marbles.
It was like
better
than it.
yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah.
So there you'd be growing up amongst some children whose parents were still in Jamaica, and then other children whose parents had, moved to England, to the Britain. So I suppose you were so you had all these fancy things from Britain, and then there would be other children that didn't have the things that you had. Did you notice that difference when you were growing up?
That's a good point, because I did get upset 1 or 2 times because when mother sent things for us, sometimes they would share them with the other kids. Now, I was with my brother, so that was good. I wasn't left on my own. So, but the people I was left with, my godparents, and they were fantastic. So they shared things like equally. What they had, they shared us. So therefore, when
things came for you, they were shared amongst the other children as well.
Yeah. As much as it was upsetting for me as a youngster, I later on learned.
It's mine.
Yeah. my mommy and daddy said
mommy and daddy sent me this. Yeah. But you understand the rationale as as becoming an adult, you then get to understand the rationale for what they were doing.
Yes. And I say it wasn't just stuff from England that they shared out. Everything else was shared out.
Everything was shared.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And you had as you said, you had a good childhood. Jamaica was beautiful, despite that longing for mommy for those 5 years.
I would say that I'm very fortunate in the sense that I know it doesn't happen to everybody. That experience of being left behind with other people. It does vary a lot.
Yeah.
Some people are not treated as anywhere as good as I knew I was treated, and they had not as good as experience as I did. And also the fortunate thing for me is that when I met up with my parents again, there was still that bonding. It's definitely with my mother anyway. It was rekindled, that bonding. It was great.
Beautiful. So can you remember your journey to England?
Absolutely, 100%. In the sense that the days, the months, the years went by, and then eventually they said, "Well, you're going to England to join your mother." So you can imagine that the moment of being told that.
Yes.
And it was just amazing. And then once you got told and you got everything sorted,
did you all go together?
No,
did you all have different dates?
So the 5 children, and 4 of us ultimately made it to England. 1 didn't. Okay. But my brother and I, who lived together, we also came together, and the others came separately.
Okay.
So that's how that went. Yeah. So my brother and I had the notification that we were coming to England, and I can only speak for myself. I was ecstatic.
I bet you were.
And then the journey ultimately they'd gone, and it was like, I can remember somebody saying to me, "It's gonna be cold in England," and I said to her, "Cold? I'm a man."
Huh? And when
no idea.
And when you arrived,
Oh my God. When I arrived, I was like a new kid on the block.
Yeah.
So a lot of the other kids, saw this sort of West Indian person and is Donald coming out to play? So
Yeah.
in the matter of days, right? So I went outside.
Where in the UK had your parents settled initially?
In Birmingham.
In Birmingham. Okay.
Yes. So there I was, days after arrived, and it snowed 3 weeks non-stop when I arrived.
And Donna, let me ask you, was it cold?
Oh my goodness. So here is my first experience of what cold meant, right? They requested me to come out to play, the other kids knocking on my door all the time.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, let's go out to play. So I went outside to play in this white stuff called snow that I'd seen like for the first time.
Yeah.
In my slippers.
Oh, Lord.
So in no time, my feet were actually absolutely soaking. And then, of course, started to freeze.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm thinking, what's this funny sensation? So I thought, I'm going to go back in. So I went back in, and then, of course, there was this paraffin heater.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So I went and put my foot next to it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the old chilblain started to set in and all this. Yeah, big learning curve. So then I knew what cold meant.
Yeah. Brilliant. And I'm sure you didn't speak exactly as you speak now. I'm sure you were saying it was cool.
So when I first came, I was proper.
From the country as well.
Proper. So I went to school, and they were so intrigued with the way I was speaking, even the teacher. So the teacher got this tape recorder out. Back in the days when you press the two thumbs down.
Yeah.
With the old mic, gave me the microphone and just said to me, say something.
Uh-huh.
And the whole class was looking at me, and all I could say to her is, "What if you say?"
Well, Donald, now you're definitely not short of words, because you know what to say. Wonderful. And they used to say such and such, and you used to say it in your accent. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I also recall this was one of the questions that came up. I remember when we did your online launch, and you talk about those bananas. Remind me about the bananas from Jamaica, the little ones.
Yeah. So basically in Jamaica, we're very blessed with a variety of fruits. And when I first came here, and Mother said, let's go to the market like within the first week. And then she started buying. I said, why are you buying these?
Yeah.
Because I had all the trees, grapefruit,
every tree,
orange, all the trees in my yard. Wow. So I would just pick and throw away what I didn't want, even though they're quite good, some of them. And that includes banana, which is actually ripened on the tree, but gives you a different taste. If you get a banana that comes straight off the tree when it's ripe, it's mature, and it tastes different to what you buy in the shop. But there are a variety of bananas, and my special one was a very small one. This one we used to call a Chinese banana, and that had an extra special taste, very sweet and nice, So. But there weren't many trees of those, so we cherished those ones.
Yes, brilliant.
Fantastic.
Brilliant. So earlier on, thank you for that. It's making me I think I need to go to Jamaica. I haven't been to Jamaica for 6 years. So it's definitely coming up to time to go to Jamaica. Do you go back to Jamaica often?
Well, not as often I would like, because of my years in the Air Force. It was a very long time before I went back, and then I went back about 3 times in 5 years.
Okay.
And sporadically after that. Now, because of circumstances, I have been able to go back, but I would love to go back as soon as I can. But I don't know when that's going to be.
At the moment. Yeah, understandable. So why did you write this book?
Well, I've always liked writing. And if I give you an example of how far back this goes,
Yeah.
is the fact that when I first started school back in the years, I was given a slate.
Yeah.
And this slate was a writing implement with chalk.
Mm-hmm.
And the slate is the same size as the tablet now.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I would write on one side and then I would turn over and carry on writing. And me being always full of words,
Yes.
my story was not complete. And I would say to the teacher, can I have another slate? And she would say, or he would say, no, you're going to get the one slate. You should. And I said, what am I going to do? I haven't finished my story. She said, well, just rub the first side off and
oh no.
yeah. And I was so upset.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, there was all these vivid sort of, tales to tell.
Yeah.
And, so until I went to the next level of schooling, which they give you an exercise book then, I was ecstatic getting an exercise book because I could write and keep writing.
Yeah, and plus it would be preserved rather than having to rub it out.
Absolutely. I could keep the exercise, but give me a new one when I completed that one. So that was fantastic. So from a very young age, I've always liked reading stories about another country and the hills and the valleys and whatever. But I also liked writing stories.
Yeah.
So that's where that came from. So I just thought, I would sort of recount my years of being in Jamaica and my journey from Jamaica to here. And that went on for quite a long time. And I'd written it and it was sat there. It was sat there for quite a long time until I met your good self. And then I got to publish it. So, it was great to get that story out.
Absolutely. And what's the lovely part to your story is that you were able to put a copy of the original manuscript into your mother's coffin?
Absolutely, yeah. I was writing it, although it wasn't yet fully completed. Mother sadly passed away, and I thought, you know what? Let me take some copies across and cousins or whatever. And then I just thought, you know what? I was so bonded with my mother all my life, and there's a big section in there about my mother. I thought, let's put a copy of this in a coffin.
Yeah. So what was that's beautiful sentiment, beautiful. Yeah. So what are your special memories of Mommy?
Well, Mommy was very, very much a mother to her children and to hundreds of other children. Okay. So although she was our mother, she was a mother to many other. And we learned that about her. She was very caring, quite strict in terms of making sure things are right and done properly. But we learned to understand that it was in our interest to do that sort of thing and get it right. But she was a real matriarch. She ran
the home.
The home, yeah. And she was very well respected. And I absolutely love that.
That's wonderful.
Very caring, very warm. And, I just can't say enough about my mother, not just because she was a mother, because of what she was.
Yeah. So is there a piece of, I don't know, advice or wisdom that your mum shared with you that has stayed with you your whole life? Do you have any nuggets of that for us?
Well, when I first came to England, I would walk the streets, walking up and down the streets as you do, coming from the shops or whatever, and you would look and you would see the curtains twitch, and you just look naturally, and people would sort of touch their nose like that, and I'm thinking, I've never seen anybody do that. Yeah. So and they kept doing it. So I went to Mother, and I said, well, why do they keep doing that? And she said to me, son, not everybody likes us because of the color of her skin, but never mind, just take no notice of them. Is what they say, and that's her best way of handling the situation.
Okay. Yeah. And did you take that advice throughout your life?
I took the advice. I took it as best as I could. What I learned from that is that you should learn to manage the situation. That's what mother was really saying.
Yeah.
And when you grow to be an adult, you face a multitude of those situations. And what I learned when I first joined the Air Force is that what you have to do is manage yourself well, especially being in a military establishment. Because if you don't, then you get the raw end of the deal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
you've got to have some discipline.
So I fully intended on having a full career, and I did actually see some people got completely riled and didn't manage the situation properly, and although they were right in the first place, they ended up being wrong.
Made themselves wrong. Yeah.
Yes.
That happens.
So I learned from that how to manage the situation and make sure I didn't get taken advantage of.
Brilliant. And so that was mom's guidance.
Absolutely. Because she stood up for herself in so many different ways, And I learned that. So I learned how to stand up for myself, but I learned there is a way of doing it.
Yeah.
The right way.
The right way. Brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant. Now, I am sure that there was an incident in a classroom when you were at school in the UK.
Or was that one in Jamaica?
Or was it in Jamaica? There was an incident in school.
Yes.
That really that's depicted in your book. I want to hear more. I want to hear about it.
Yes, it was in my secondary school. I would say.
But that was in Jamaica.
In Jamaica.
Right.
Yes. And it was just like any other day. I went to school and just sort of, thinking, how many marbles am I going to win today?
You know what? I'm remembering it properly now. Carry on telling the story.
Yeah. And then my school was like an L-shaped building with blackboards, huge blackboards that divided the classes. So noise was easily sort of, from
carried.
Classrooms.
From one class area to another.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I remember this teacher, shall we call her Miss B, who was quite a known teacher who had to leave her class and go somewhere. So she said to the next teacher, the teacher next to her class, can you look after my class for me? But in particular, mind out for this girl, keep an eye on her, because she was quite a,
Okay.
And anyway, she went and came back, and the teacher said everything was fine, but this girl that you mentioned, there was a little bit of a, So she went and tackled the girl, and she was happy. So she then called the headmaster, who was a male, and asked him to sort this girl out. And so the headmaster listened to what the girl had to say, and thought, you know what, gave her a warning, and it was quite a stern warning. If you do this again, you will be severely dealt with. Well, this wasn't good enough for Miss B. She insisted on him sort of administering discipline one way or the other, in terms of probably the cane, or back in the day, that's what he would get, the cane. And she wanted that. And because he wouldn't, he said, look, I'm giving her this last chance. But she stood firm, and taller than him she was.
Wow.
In his way, and blocked him. And then there was a fisticuff started, because
she started to fight him. She started to hit him.
Yeah, she slapped him. And instinctively, he returned it. And then she grabbed his hair. She grabbed his hair, and he grabbed her hair, and oh my God! And of course, by this time, all the children from all the different classes were like, oh my God, this is exciting. So they sort of scuffled until they reached the playground, and of course, the playground was out on the grass, and the sun.
The fight was carrying on and moving around until they reached outside. Oh my Lord!
I wish I had a video of it. And it was fantastic. And they got outside and there was this carrying on. And of course, the rest of the teachers were there and everybody was surrounding this. And the male, the head teacher was older than Miss B.
Okay.
And we thought, it was like sort of panting. And we thought, and he walked away.
Did I have a heart attack?
He walked away to his cottage, which was just at the end of the playground.
Okay.
And we thought, you know what? She's got the better of him because she was younger and he was older and he'd had enough. Anyway, he came back out brandishing a revolver. No. Yes.
Oh, Lord.
And this other teacher, I remember this male teacher, grabbed his arm. Luckily he was right there. And he grabbed his arm and sort of took the revolver away.
Donald, hold on. I thought your book was a memoir. You're making this up. This is fiction. Come on.
No. Seriously.
Wow.
Seriously.
Wow.
Right? And it wasn't until some time after I learned why this head teacher walked with a limp. He was a World War II veteran.
Oh.
So that's where he would have had the training with the gun, able to bring a gun back with him, a revolver back with him, and all of that. So I learned that later on. But that was an amazing, especially when he's outside in the open air, it was like going to the cinema, only it was real.
Oh my gosh.
And as a child or children, we could believe what we were watching.
Yeah.
And the next day, it was like it never happened because the teacher left, the Miss B, and we never saw her again. That was that.
Wow. Wow, what a story. Miss B beat up the head teacher. Teacher got the gun.
She almost got shot.
And then Mr. C disarmed him because she almost got shot in the school, the schoolyard with all the children around.
Yes.
Wow. That
amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
And to learn later on what it means to be, and he's in the Royal Air Force.
Yeah.
To learn all of that.
Yeah.
Decades later, what that meant. A veteran in the Royal Air Force, and he was my headmaster and all of that sort of thing. I had no previous knowledge of what that meant.
No. And then to think a man, I suppose he was a man of valor. So he's now the head teacher and he's being fair. He asserted, she called him and he attended to this child who needed discipline. And he disciplined that child in the way that he felt was the best.
Yeah. And
for Miss B to think, no, I ain't going to beat this man because it's not right. What a disrespect.
Absolutely.
What a disrespect.
In front of all the other people as well.
All the children and teachers and everyone, So she had to go. Did you ever hear what happened to her?
Never saw or heard anything about her again.
Ever. Yeah. Wow. I wonder if she's under the river somewhere or but we don't know. We don't know. All right. Yeah. Donald, see, this is happening again. Donald, we haven't even got started and we're gonna need a part 2. So but this is great conversation. So your book has been out for some time now, like almost a year plus. You've got your audio book as well.
Yes.
I just want to ask, so you've done that. Do you plan to do any other writing? Do you have any other books in mind? And what else do you do?
Yeah, so I've got really and truly what I thought about when I started writing is to write a trilogy.
Yes.
And the first one of the trilogy is up until I was 18. The second part is my 36 years in the Royal Air Force, which I've written 2/3 of that.
Okay.
And the third one of the trilogy is Life After the Royal Air Force.
Air Force.
So having written my first trilogy, I took a chapter out of it and started an organization called the Forgotten Generations.
Yeah.
The Forgotten Generations is very much doing what we're doing at the moment is recording visually people's life stories, especially World War II veterans and military personnel, but right across the board of African and British African and Caribbean people.
Yes.
So whatever you do in life in terms of a person, we are often examples and role models to the younger generations.
Yes.
And a lot of times they do not see us enough. When they're in the classroom, they don't see enough role models.
Yeah.
And sometimes they go down the wrong path because, they don't see choices.
Not seeing positive role models, not seeing people, as you say, that have taken advantage of choices and can demonstrate that there are other things. There's lots that you can do with your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, we need that. Donald, where do we find the information about the Forgotten Generations? Do you have a website?
Forgotten Generations, we've got a website and it's what it says, theforgottengenerations.com.
Okay, great.
And there's so much information on there in terms of articles. I write articles about people. There's a podcast. There's actually visual interview recordings and many, many more. We have a poetry page. We have so many.
Brilliant. Yeah. And you have I don't know if you still do, but the Forgotten Generations has a page. You're in the Phoenix newspaper?
Yeah, so we have a column in the Phoenix newspaper and we submit an article on a monthly basis. We encourage people to become a member of the Forgotten Generations.
Okay.
And we've got almost 100 members now. And we at least once a month, update our members as to what's happening.
Yes.
For instance, a couple of Saturdays ago, we had one of our World War II veterans became 100. And it was just a fantastic celebration.
That's what beautiful.
Which was televised. And it was just absolutely fantastic. So lots of things happen, and we try to capture the things that are happening with our people like yourself who are doing such wonderful work. I interview people like yourself and others and put it on our website so they can be seen not just locally or nationally, but globally.
Well, Donald, I'd love to be interviewed whenever you're ready. I'm just going to, because we're going to wrap up now, but a little bird told me that you're getting ready for a trip somewhere and a cruise.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, where are you going?
It's only a matter of days, and my wife and I are going on a cruise to the Canary Islands. Beautiful. And we're going to be actually, hopefully, basking in some sunshine during these winter weeks for a couple of weeks. So I'm really looking forward to that.
That's brilliant. I've cruised once, and I love it, and it's something that I intend to do again because it's such an experience. Like just even on the ship, the entertainment, the food.
Yeah.
It's just you're in another world. So have you and your wife organized all these different fancy outfits for the evenings, and when you're going to have dinner with the captain and all those type of activities? So tell me a bit about your itinerary then.
This is our third cruise.
Okay.
So we have an idea. So you have those evenings where you have the captain's table.
Yes.
And you have so you can actually dress accordingly. And of course, being a military person, you can wear your medal.
Do you dress in your
You can wear you wear a dinner suit or
but you can wear your medals.
But you're very much encouraged to wear your medals, and it is often very much of a talking point.
Yes, I can imagine.
Yeah. And especially now that I recently got the King's medal for veteran, coronation.
Congratulations.
Medals, yeah.
Congratulations.
So we really are looking forward to this break.
I think it's going to be wonderful. You're going to get the sun and just the feeling of the thing is, I think some people who haven't cruised think that it's like being on a ferry. No, it isn't.
No, it's not.
It's
It's
so
not.
smooth. It's
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
don't know that you're even on the
Re-
sea.
recommend it. Definitely
Yeah,
recommend.
I recommend it.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Donald, have a fabulous trip.
Yes, thank you very much.
And I'm sure we'll speak again soon.
Mhm.
And it's been wonderful talking to you. It's been wonderful working with you as well.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll speak again soon. Thank you
Yes,
so much, Donald.
and I'll hold you to that. I'd like to interview you
Yeah,
one day, definitely.
yeah. We'll definitely organise it. After we'll wait till you've been on your cruise, and we'll wait till I've been on a holiday or a cruise, and then we'll do it. So in about
Absolutely.
6 weeks' time. All
All right
right.
then.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Wonderful. Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Marcia.
Donald.
Take care.
Right.